Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Propagandacast with me, Imperial Dane. And today I have for you a 1 vs 1 on Industrial Riverbed. Yes, indeed, it's going to be another trip through the Netherlands, Holland, or Belgium, who shall know. In this case, though, we'll say Belgium just for the fun of it. Watch as the Americans try to hunt down the German forces, desperately setting up a rear guard composed of the 2nd Panzer Division, or what remained of it after the disaster at Falaise. In the southern corner we are seeing Company of Pinheads, a very charming name, holding the line for the 3rd Armoured Division, perhaps, or no, let us say the 3rd Armoured Division. Who shall be opposing them? It shall be Vexial of the 2nd Panzer Division, or what remains of it, probably more of Kampfgruppe 2nd Panzer Division, or Kampfgruppe Vexial, but nonetheless ready to fight for the fatherland, with what Panzer Grenadiers can be scrambled together and what little armor reserves there are, and probably what can be picked up from other stragglers. And of course we do have Industrial Riverbed, rather interesting map, sort of divided by the river right through the entire thing, of course giving the name of Industrial Riverbed since there's a river and a river bed. We do have some victory points in the parts of the riverbed, in fact, one close to each base, and then one right here in the center of everything alongside a munitions point. We have some high fuel points at each corner, but they are protected by strategic points, which of course opens up for harassment plenty. And of course we also have some strategic points here and here, also harassment, although this one seems to be a bit more awkwardly guarded. Otherwise munitions point plenty and all that. And let us get right to things, shall we? No dawdling about. Engineers moving out. Whatever shall they do? Apparently they shall not be setting up barracks, instead going straight for the strategic point. Interesting move. 2nd Engineer Team, though, might get about with a barracks or a weapon support center. That could certainly also be a possibility. No, it shall be a barracks swiftly being set up. Panzer Grenadiers arriving from Vexial's headquarters, probably will be receiving some Gewehr 43s to augment their firepower a bit more. Strategic point immediately under control, while Vexial himself is going for the munitions point and probably this fuel point as well. Sort of the same resource division as no, not Simois. Oh dear, what's that map? I can't remember. My apologies, but there is one, of course, where there are some fuel points right here in the edges as well. But let us not get stuck up on that. We are seeing movement towards, in fact, this fuel point rather decisively, going for all the strategic points and then going straight for the high fuel point. That's rather interesting. Barracks is up, riflemen are on the way. Panzer Grenadiers, on the other hand, heading towards the south, perhaps expecting the major engagement to be there, or not. Kettenkrad also rushing towards the south. No doctrine as of yet, otherwise we could in fact see it on the rear of the Kettenkrad. And that is of course one thing for you Americans to sort of always keep an eye on, the rear of the Kettenkrad. If you suddenly see something there, like either a camouflage pattern, a toolkit, or some explosives, then you can pretty much figure out what doctrine he has gone for. Riflemen arriving, Panzer Grenadiers securing the central island, although why he has split up his Panzer Grenadiers is beyond me. You generally want to keep them together to support each other in the early stages. Very slow in taking points, of course, that's something to remember. Riflemen moving in. Oh dear, these Panzer Grenadiers will have to pull into heavy cover. There we go. Not managed to secure this point on much else. Riflemen moving ahead. Standing out in the open. There's a bit of light cover from this small ditch, but no, they're getting hit by a suppressive volley, suppressing them. And further Panzer Grenadiers are marching in, although one of these Panzer Grenadiers is beyond the cover and is instantly taken down by the riflemen. Engineers securing the northern bit plus the fuel point. No observation posts. That could have been interesting. 3rd Riflemen arriving. 4th Panzer Grenadier Team. Still no buildings, but we are seeing Panzer Grenadiers moving further towards the center. Riflemen engaging again. Panzer Grenadiers once more pulling back towards the wreckage of the car, ready to blast away at these riflemen. At the same time we are seeing a 3rd Rifleman team on the way. Not looking too good, not entirely sure why he's keen on doing this sort of engagement. Then again, he is tying up the Panzer Grenadiers for a bit, so that of course could be the reason he's doing so, and of course that does well. But then again, he needs to be quick to get out of them once they are torn down. There we go. No sense in losing a rifleman team in vain. Kettenkrad securing this everything pretty much this side of the river, although this victory point certainly could become part of the 2nd Panzer Division remains. And there we go, Logistik Company. Panzer Grenadier Team number 5, it would seem. Or no, it in fact is the one from here that has retreated. That's interesting. And looks like the riflemen are once more mounting an assault on the center. Panzer Grenadiers will once more have to pull back towards cover. Riflemen, though, standing out in the open, not even light cover, though they are slowly advancing towards this small ditch. Panzer Grenadiers firing away. One rifleman is down, one Panzer Grenadier is down. Who shall be winning this fight? Engineers moving through in the north. Goodness gracious. Lots of firepower being exchanged right here in the center. Another rifleman is down. Panzer Grenadiers continue to fire away with the rifles. Semi-automatic and bolt action. Another rifleman goes down. The rest are still there, although heavily wounded. The Panzer Grenadiers do not pursue, and down here we see the Panzer Grenadiers once done with the Logistik Company move out. And what shall we be seeing from it? Could it be the usual increased squad sizes? Or no, we are in fact seeing a munitions half-track, apparently lacking anything else. Half-tracks normally meant for supplies are now being dragged into the fight. My goodness. Certainly not a bad idea. Can lay down mines, and of course give units swift the cooldowns on their abilities, but that's about it actually. It was once briefly experimented with allowing it to actually reinforce at the field, reinforcing units on the field, but that was dropped. Still, being able to lay down mines, plus it costs no munitions, is not entirely bad. And of course there's no fuel cost associated with it. That was actually really what it needed, but there we go. Looks like he will be laying down mines. Of course that is pretty much his primary purpose. Riflemen getting BARs. We are so far seeing only 3 rifleman teams though. A 4th one could do the trick. Of course a munitions, a medic post station could also do the trick. And looks like a triage center is going up right there at the American base. Riflemen hanging about here in this house. Not horse, my goodness. Tongue seems to be slipping, my apologies. Can happen when you talk so swiftly as me. Kettenkrad moving about in the south. Still no doctrine up for Vexial. Nothing for American friend either. Panzer Grenadiers hanging about this half-track. Not much else going on. Riflemen engaging from the south. Awfully close to a mine. Awfully close. If they hit it, this could be it for them. Goodbye, David. No. One makes it out of there, but they do drop a BAR. Panzer Grenadiers do pursue. Will they be picking up the BAR? Come on, Vexial. Pick it up. Pick it up. Apparently not. And looks like the Kettenkrad was knocked out. That was a bit unfortunate for Vexial. And increased squad sizes are now up, actually. These Panzer Grenadiers could certainly do with a bit of reinforcement themselves. Sadly, the munitions half-track cannot provide it, otherwise it might actually find itself used a bit more. But there you go, we are seeing some Panzer Grenadiers moving about in the north, also equipped with Gewehr 43s. Panzer Grenadier counter-attack in the south, although heavily wounded and low in men, but still they force the riflemen to retreat, slowing them down a bit with a swift suppressive volley, gaining a few. Rather interesting there. Seems like the American effort has lost a bit. Engineers laying down mines. Riflemen still hanging about here. In fact, he looks like to have lost all spirit, which is not good, as the Americans generally want to keep the pressure up, also as the Panzer Grenadiers. So him going defensively right now is not really doing him well, in particular since the Panzer Grenadiers is in fact holding most of the terrain, and now going for the Panzer Support Command. These Panzer Grenadiers so really need to retreat and get reinforced. The sooner the better, otherwise there will be... What is the word I'm looking for? Oh yes, much faster. Forced off the field with no mercy, no respite. Engineers still hanging about here. Not a lot of mines on the Americans' behalf, but we are seeing some flamethrowers and sticky bombs now being equipped. Now they're expecting some sort of vehicular action from the 2nd Panzer Division. Munitions half-track still hanging about. Mittlere Schützenpanzerwagen for munition duties. Mines as well. Panzer grenadiers still getting engaged out in the open, retreating in the face of the BARs and flamethrower engineers. Good job there. The rest are now retreating, getting reinforced. Good show there. And of course there will be much greater numbers. Of course that is still going to cost a bit of manpower to get that done, since they do cost 45 munitions to reinforce or something akin to that. They are rather expensive in that regard. But there we go, lots of Panzer Grenadiers ready. A force to be reckoned with. Certainly quite a bit of firepower to put the fear of the wehrmacht into the Americans. More mines being laid down by the munitions half-track. It's quite prolific with it, which of course is good. Although it looks like it might get sticky bombed if it's not careful. But no, apparently Mr. Company of Pinheads is not regarding this munitions half-track as a threat. Panzer Grenadiers attacking in larger numbers. Engineers laying down mines. That is good job. Always lay down mines if you can. Riflemen getting engaged out in the open by all of these Panzer Grenadiers. Opening up. Riflemen pulling back. Getting suppressed. And retreating. Will they hit a mine while doing so? What? There we go. Anti-tank half-track also hitting the field. Apparently so far not much ammo for the 2nd Panzer Division, relying mostly on what remaining half-tracks there are. Hitting the mine, absolutely horrific casualties, 4 down. Be careful with clumping up, and of course good usage of mines there, that was absolutely great. And of course the engineers, I believe, got a bit of veterancy out of that, because again, units gain veterancy by mines as well. So if your mines do some damage and kill something, they get the veterancy. So of course that's a way to level up engineers, or if you've got infantry company and of course defensive operations, that also means your riflemen will be able to gain veterancy that way. Keep that in mind. We are seeing a mortar hitting the field. Heavy machine gun covering this area with its 30 caliber water-cooled Browning machine gun. That's jolly good. Panzer Grenadiers retreating in larger numbers. No defensive operations up for the 2nd Panzer Division to sort of heal. And currently all an anti-tank half-track and a munitions half-track is holding the center, although he should now be careful not to use all of his munitions on mine, since the anti-tank half-track needs some for its abilities like knocking out a vehicle's mobility, or of course focused fire, which allows us actually to do some pretty nasty things to infantry. Panzer Grenadiers in numbers and mass gunning down these riflemen. Not entirely sure why he's so keen on keeping them out in small forces when there are so many Panzer Grenadiers about, but we are seeing some rather extensive harassment at all sides, also hitting through here in the south. More riflemen moving in, ignoring the center where the 2nd Panzer Division is the strongest. That is good, forcing him to spread out his troops, also good. And looks like defensive operations have been prepared, and let's go switch over to Vexial. Vexial, I said, who looks like he has gone for a doctrine, but without the cannon ground I can't see, although due to this I'd probably guess tank hunter, tank destroyer, Panzerjäger, calling upon the might of the Panzerjäger company of whatever force they can find to actually provide some support. Panzer Grenadiers attacking in the south, all equipped with Gewehr 43s. Riflemen out in the open, getting suppressed. Suppressive volley there, but riflemen are moving in from the north. Pinned down, but riflemen counterattack in the north. There we go, although they might want to take up some cover. And they realize they are in a bad spot and are quickly retreating in the face of the elite Panzer Grenadieren. We are seeing Panzer Grenadiers also here in the north, now moving ever cautiously out, perhaps not wanting to hit a mine. That's certainly not a bad move. And there we go, Panzer IV getting called in from perhaps some sort of nearby Panzer replacement and training battalion. There were a few of those in Holland and the Netherlands, and some of them were in fact using the Panzer IV F1 or other of the stubby-barreled Panzer IVs. This variant pretty much being the early variant, the one which was actually meant when the Panzer IV was more of a support tank, meant to deal with strong emplacements, anti-tank guns, infantry, and not so much tanks. That was later on when the Wehrmacht needed some high-velocity 75mm guns, and the Panzer III simply couldn't keep that mounted. So the Panzer IV was brought in as the main tank of the Wehrmacht by then. The Stug 3 also had this on sort of in the beginning, and was actually more of an infantry support unit than this Panzer 4. And hitting 2 mines in a row. Good show there, doing a bit of damage. And the Americans are retreating in the face of this, realizing they can't do anything. Riflemen engaging in the north. What the bloody hell am I saying? Not the north, the south. En masse, in fact, Panzer Grenadiers forced to retreat in the face of this BAR force. And the munition half-tracks and the anti-tank half-track perhaps spots this. You could see some focused fire from this anti-tank half-track. That will do the trick. Riflemen getting pinned, taking damage. Still no one has picked up this BAR. That's a bit unfortunate. Panzer 4 doing its best. Hitting another mine. My goodness. Riflemen now hitting mines. Everybody is hitting mines. Riflemen getting blasted to bits on their retreat. The Panzer 4 looking rather suitably dinged up and rusty. Does a bit, but not much. It really is in dire need of some emergency repairs. And looks like a motor pool is going up for the 3rd Armoured Division. So far, no armor at all has materialized, perhaps relying much on their mechanized infantry being brought forward. But we are seeing a upgrade number 1 for the supply yard. That is good. Increases veterancy gain for his riflemen, and of course decreases upkeep for all of his units, which is also good. Panzer Grenadiers moving in. Armored skirts being used for the Panzer 4. That's good. More riflemen hitting. Panzer Grenadiers hitting the field. Floating quite a bit of manpower and fuel. Would not be a bad idea to actually use it. Perhaps another Kettenkrad, perhaps some upgrades for his Panzer Grenadiers, perhaps some more buildings, perhaps something at all. More Panzer Grenadiers marching in to repair this. Oh dear, be careful with clumping up your troops and repairing. While troops are repairing, they will be more vulnerable, take more damage and be easier to hit. And if, say, someone decides to blast in a mortar from nearby, say right here, those Panzer Grenadiers will be a lot more vulnerable. Plus American riflemen with BARs. These Panzer Grenadiers, oh dear, move them away. They are easy targets. Sticky bombs being lobbed at the Panzer 4 riflemen retreating. And a mortar round kills 3 Panzer Grenadiers with 1 hit, my goodness. The rest are retreating, but that was really unfortunate. Panzer 4 engine once more damaged and on fire. Will be needed repairs, and another mortar round hits and kills. So only getting quite a bit of bang for his money right there. Anti-tank on ready could be the trick against the Panzer 4 if positioned properly, and with perhaps some anti-tank rounds. And more Panzer Grenadiers simply getting blasted to bits by the mortar rounds again. Not entirely sure why he's so keen on repairing right in the arc of fire of the mortar. And there we go, retreating. At the same time, engineers are doing their worst in the south, seizing territory. Half-track continues to lay down mines, ever gloriously for the fatherland. Panzerjäger command going up. Some other Panzer Grenadiers are still hanging about. Could we be seeing some Panzerjägers? Could we be seeing some armored cars? Or perhaps some assault rifles? But rather interestingly, Vexial has gone for some rather unorthodox strategies a bit. Munitions half-track, no armored cars. Then again, not much other things in half-tracks. And what is this? We are seeing a vampire half-track. Now that's incredibly rare. That shall be interesting to see what he does with that. At the same time, we are seeing Group Seal being researched for his Panzer Grenadiers, really urging them to work together. What does this mean? It means, in fact, they will be tougher and have more regeneration when they are closer to each other. In fact, it even works somewhat, I believe, as a basic upgrade for each Panzer Grenadier squad, making them slightly tougher. Of course, they makes them tougher in larger groups. Of course, that doesn't mean you should blob up, but it does mean you can be a bit more safe with them together in cover and all that. Riflemen marching in through the south. Mine waiting for them as usual, but no mines there. Anti-tank half-track firing away. Still no focused fire. No idea why he isn't using that ability. It really can do quite a bit. Panzer Grenadiers marching through here, ignoring the riflemen. Panzer Grenadiers moving into the south as well. Panzer 4 moving towards the center. Anti-tank half-track forced to retreat. Still no focused fire at all. Panzer 4 opening up on the riflemen. There we go. Not doing anything though. Panzer Grenadiers moving in from the north. Gewehr 43s in hand. And we're also seeing a bit of engagement in the north. Engineers continuing to lay down mines. Vampire half-track moving in here. What shall he do? Rifleman going for this cut-off point. Very, very bold. Certainly not bad. At the same time, it looks like this small boathouse, I'm not entirely sure what, but has been fortified by the heavy machine gun team. That's a bit of an odd move. Panzer grenades moving away from here, hoping to take this point back, as it in fact is, ensuring all of this has been cut off. That's a good move indeed. Panzer grenades engaging, opening up, and riflemen are retreating, running the gauntlet through the 2nd Panzer Division Panzer Grenadiers. Mortar rounds firing away. And mortars being prepared. Probably being pulled in from the range of some infantry division. And not entirely sure why he pulled in the vampire right there.
Jaeger command is now available to aid our
bit of an odd move. Panzer IV taking quite a bit of fire from the anti-tank gun, but apparently survives. Panzer Grenadiers marches in. Vampire half-track needs to get out of there. Anti-tank gun gets away behind the mine, in fact. Nothing else though to cover it. No riflemen or heavy machine guns. Tank depot is up. And looks like the Panzer Grenadiers are charging the anti-tank gun. Anti-tank grenades thrown, setting off a mine, killing the crew of the anti-tank gun. Panzer Grenadiers are retreating, some with offensive veterancy. And Vampire half-track not doing much at the moment. Might be wanting to sort of siphon all fuel. There we go. In fact, giving quite a bit. 13 fuel away from all of this. Good show. Of course, there'll be a lot more once this is returned, but still not bad indeed. And of course, it will also be denying the American commander that amount of fuel. So in fact, even though he has an observation post on the fuel point, he's not getting quite as much out of it as he possibly could. That's smart thinking. So of course, try to use the Funkwagen if you can. Funkwagen basically meaning radio wagon. Anti-tank grenades being thrown at the Hellcat. The Hellcat not really equipped to deal with infantry besides 50 caliber machine gun, and turning out against these large formations of Panzer Grenadiers. Another anti-tank grenade thrown. Main gun is destroyed. Anti-tank half-track moves in for the kill. There we go. Hellcat is blown to bits. Engineers moving about here in the north, laying down more mines. No mines here though, interestingly enough. Panzer IV in dire need of repairs. Munitions half-track is actually still about, rather interestingly. Sniper on the way, and another Hellcat. Interestingly enough, no patch Sherman tanks, which would actually be the most ideal thing to actually deal with all of this infantry and the Panzer IV and the anti-tank half-track, since against it can actually deal with armor and infantry. Plus the Panzer IV is not really, this version at least, is not really meant to deal with the Sherman tank. So not sure why he's going for the Hellcat. In fact, he has the fuel and the manpower for it if he cancels now. I can't help but feel this is a rather huge strategic blunder. Riflemen getting torn to bits by Panzer Grenadiers. Half-track still hanging out here being naughty and siphoning fuel away. Engineers moving through here in the north, at least some good aggression there. Half-track laying down mines. That is good. Das ist gut, mein Freund. And we are seeing the first Marder 3 hitting the field, based on the Panzer 38T. It would later be replaced fully with the Panzerjäger 83 T Hetzer, which was more armored, although it didn't quite have the Pak 40. It still had a nice gun, plus it was better armored, and of course had a small machine gun, which could be fired remotely. And looks like
under attack.
The Hellcat is on the move. Sniper providing support. Mortars as well. More mines being laid down by the engineers, now getting minesweepers on their own. Veterancy 2 for this mortar team. That is good. Panzer Grenadiers, though, a bit clumped up here. Hanging about, could really do with moving onwards instead of waiting for their friends to finish. Panzer IV here getting repaired. Panzer Grenadiers doing their best to swiftly effect repairs. Marder 3 also moving in, perhaps In fact, he has 2 Marder 3s. That might be a bit too much, but then again, he might be expecting a Sherman. And moving towards the center area. Unopposed. In fact, though, Panzer Grenadiers are now moving into counterattack. Marder 3s opening away from the far side. Anti-tank half-track as well. Riflemen getting gunned down. Taking heavy fire. Engineers are the only ones left to be dealt with. Panzer Grenadiers continuing here. Some getting hit by a mine, well, hitting a mine, in fact. Not that the mine flew out of the ground and proceeded to beat them up.
We're losing ground out there.
Securing this area, but it probably will be under the intense fire of the mortar.
Initiating defensive operations.
Artillery now being prepared as well, my goodness, and it's time for the mid-game analysis rounds going through here. Sneaky, sneaky. What is the situation? Well, currently it's sort of 50-50, with slightly most control being, though, in the hands of the 2nd Panzer Division, aka the Panzer Elite under Vexial. The American is doing alright, but he really needs to be able to push through. He really needs to be able to deliver some solid blows, and the Hellcat is just not cutting it. He needs a Sherman, and he needs it now. He needs something that can deal with Panzer Grenadiers and Panzer Force and whatnot else. The Hellcat, of course, can be used to sort of flank the Marder 3s and deal with it through that, but he needs to sort of develop a more sound strategy. Of course, mining is good, though. Keep on mining, my good sir. Keep on mining, but then you also need to develop something more sound. And you need to kill some of those Panzer Grenadiers instead of letting them just maim your riflemen. Having lost 1 rifleman team, in fact, it seems like. And he's getting more heavy machine guns. That seems a bit excessive as well. Not really aggressive enough. And the medic station could certainly have been nice. But he really needs to be aggressive. He needs to stop playing so passively. He needs to break through and secure some sort of middle ground and control it from there, because that is what Vexial has done through here, and he did so very nicely. Vexial, of course, needs to hold this, and it just needs to keep up the pressure on CompanyofPinheads, constantly small raids, small attacks. Do his best and sort of keep CompanyofPinheads and his 3rd Armoured Division under pressure. And he shall be right as rain. Let us return to the fight. Sniper just standing about, doing absolutely nothing. Mortar rounds, though, flying through the air.
300 points.
And there we go. Panzer Grenadiers getting sniped. Mortar round continuing flying at the light anti-tank half-track. Perhaps hoping to deny the usage of that sort of shot that can disable one of his vehicles. Panzer Grenadiers continue despite sniper fire to take that point. And now looks like they want to rush the sniper. And there we go, sniper getting the devil out of there, realizing he's not going to survive if he doesn't move. Riflemen counter-attacking under the supervision of the Hellcat. Still no armor though from the American commander. Panzer 4 and Panzer Grenadiers moving towards the center. Mortar rounds continue to fly. Panzer Grenadiers here have lost their spirit and not continuing onwards towards here. That would be a good thing. Panzer 4 locking down, increasing the rate of fire, blasting away at these riflemen, doing some terrible things to them, slaughtering them, sending them into the retreat. Mortar repositioning, and the Hellcat moves in, hoping to do some damage to this Panzer 4, but no, it stops up, or what? Looks like another Kettenkrad has been given in there. Of course, we can't see what it happens if it's tank destroyed, then it gets this sort of repair kit and other bits. Riflemen taking rather a lot of fire. Hellcat moving in, opening up on the Panzer 4. Marder 3s firing in response, locking down themselves, increasing range of fire and penetration, I believe. Or is it the rate of fire? I don't know. But the Hellcat does make it out there just barely. Mortar rounds continuing to fly. This light anti-tank half-track really needs some repairs. Panzer Grenadiers in the north need to move on. They need to keep up the pressure through the north. Perhaps even throwing some incendiary grenades through the window with his heavy machine gun. But he needs to keep up the pressure, keep up the attack. And he's floating an awful lot of manpower and fuel. Why is he not getting a Sherman? Why is he not getting some upgrades at least? Perhaps another supply yard upgrade. Or at least something at all. He can't just sit about. And there we go. Panzer Grenadiers moving in the north. And light vehicles moving in towards the center. Marder 3 joining in the fun as well. Now joining out. So what is he doing? Sniper moving in, perhaps acting as a forward observer for the anti-tank on 57mm. There we go, Marder 3 taking fire, already down to half health. Another shot perhaps. No, it misses. Now the Panzer 4 is in the line of fire. No, it was the Kettenkrant that was lost there. That was rather tragic. It had finally arrived on the field and then got blown to bits. Kampfgruppe Company is now up as well. This means Panzer Shreks and whatnot else. Observation post getting attacked. Panzer grenades hitting another mine. Now opening up. Artillery fire being countered in on them, forcing them out of the way. Securing this area for a bit, although the observation post will be taking some damage from it. And what is this? Laying down a 105mm howitzer. That's rather interesting, although I'd rather recommend perhaps here. Not right here out in the open where it could in fact be exposed to a sort of sneaky commander. Still, that should be able to keep up the pressure on Vexial if used properly. Properly being the key word here. Improperly, and it won't be doing anything. Rifleman and engineer. No, just rifleman moving in through the north. A Goliath ready from the Vampire half-track, but of course the Vampire half-track though is spotted. Oh dear, that's ruins the plan. Goliath moving in. Will it get close enough to the rifleman? There we go, but only killing two, the rest retreating. Sticky bomb going off on the half-track, immobilizing it, and artillery fire going in somewhere. Hitting the base of the 2nd Panzer Division, killing Panzer Grenadiers without mercy. More getting killed, in fact.
Artillery reporting.
That seems to have been it. And the Vampire half-track is lost. It shall no longer suck the economic blood of the Americans. And securing this central victory point once more, or what? No, apparently not. And he really needs to stop clumping up his Panzer grenades, in particular now that the howitzer has hit the field. You do not want to clump up your troops, not your Panzer grenades. Even if they work together, you want to keep them together, but spread out on a sort of line or something else, but not in a clump. They are easy targets like that, and it's only going to hurt you even more. Sniper firing away, getting a few Panzer Grenadiers. Central victory point secured. Northern victory point in the hands of the Americans. Panzer Grenadier counter-attack force moving in into the center as well, hunting down the engineers. Oh dear, heavy machine gun will have to open up through here. Hellcat opening up, and the howitzer is exposed. Panzer Grenadiers charging in with anti-tank grenades, knocking it out. That is why you don't want it close like there, but for example here would have been a better choice. That way it wouldn't have been so easily done. But engineers are moving in sneakily, though taking quite a bit of fire from something. Marders and anti-tank half-tracks. Panzer Grenadiers forcing away the riflemen in the north.
We have a threat to our victory.
And there we go. The Marder, despite not really having any high explosive shields, manages to knock out the engineer with an armor-piercing round. Sneaky that. Another engineer goes down to this marksman Marder 3, apparently. Panzer Grenadiers once more ready in the north. And what else is going on? I wonder. And looks like a Panther battle group is ready to be called in. Apparently calling in their Panther reserves, or what remains of them, or possibly the reserves of some Panzer Brigade, or even some SS Division, which has no need for them as they're being pulled back to refit in Germany. Panzer 4 taking heavy fire from the anti-tank gun, slowly approaching. The Hellcat could move forwards a bit though, or something. Rifleman could also do with getting ready and counter-tanking perhaps. Some Rangers could actually be a nice move. Panzer Grenadiers moving towards the center. Moving in to clear out that anti-tank gun. The Hellcat is still not doing much, and still no armor out. Incendiary grenades ready. Sniper firing away, gaining veterancy 1. Heavy machine gun team number 3 ready. Anti-tank gun cleared out again. Still no idea why he hasn't gotten for a Sherman a lot earlier. That could really have turned things around for him, but sadly not, it seems. Rifleman looks like they will soon be ready to march out once more.
Ready to pass on orders.
Not enough population cap perhaps for this Panther battle group. Anti-tank half-track still heavily damaged. The engine is still burning. That's poor maintenance. Munitions half-track still laying down mines, although the southern victory point is not within their grasp. No, it's the central one. But they do have the victory point advantage for now. These staring chaps of the 2nd Panzer Division. Panzer Grenadiers once more moving out. The ones in the American base as well. The Panzer Elite base ready, hanging out. Riflemen under heavy fire, but they will be able to secure the central point. Very nice and daring, and apparently going for an M3 half-track now. Still no Sherman. What could be his daring goal now? Panzer Grenadier forces are counter-attacking in the center. Panzer Grenadiers getting sniped. Panzer Grenadiers continue to get sniped. Riflemen getting gunned down. Mortar rounds flying in. Another chap sniped. That sniper's really having a nice day. Not so for the riflemen, and meanwhile riflemen are moving onwards in the north as well. Still nothing really to hold back these Panzer Grenadiers and then these men. Well, there we go. Heavy machine gun opening up on the Panzer Grenadiers. What will they do? Panzer IV moving in as well. Anti-tank grenades being flung at the Hellcat. Panzer IV opening up on the chaps inside the building, killing quite a few. Taking quite a bit of damage. Might be lost to the Hellcat though. Or will the Panzer IV? It damages the engine and an anti-tank grenade finishes the job. Veteran C2, my goodness, that was a bit nasty. Riflemen, Rangers though, countering in immediately, and a Yak Panther is called in. That's quite a bit of a rarity nowadays. Still nice to see. Rangers getting gunned down. Panzer IV heavy damaged. Rangers forced to retreat, being standing out in the open there, and that is not good. Almost cut down. In fact, immediately again, do not stand out in the open or in negative cover. That's not going to help you much. And the Yak Panther moves in based on the Panther chassis equipped with the high velocity 88mm gun. It was quite the killer. And looked nice too. Munition point on this observation post. Observation post on this munition point. My goodness, I'm messing about. That's not good. Mortar setting up. By Schwerer Panzerjägerabteilung 653 providing its last Yak Panther perhaps to the 2nd Panzer Division to hold this bridge area somewhere in Belgium. Riflemen counter-attacking. The Yak Panther might open up or not. No, there we go. Killing one rifleman with one shot. Sniper opening up on the Panzer Grenadiers. Panzer Grenadiers will have to pull out, but Panzer IV moves in to save the day. Sniper retreating. And riflemen getting the devil out of there, not wanting to face down the Yak Panther or the Panzer IV. Moving in the south. Only the anti-tank half-track still not focusing fire though. That's going to be lost very soon. Munitions half-track also in danger. Panzer Grenadiers moving in. Mortar opening up here. Observation post here. Observation post there and almost everywhere. Riflemen securing this strategic point. Yak Panther moving forwards, hoping to perhaps knock out that observation post, and a Panzer Grenadier team lost to mortar fire. Most tragic. Panzer IV moving in, perhaps hoping to clear out that mortar. There we go. Mortar is lost. And riflemen doing quite a bit of damage here in the north. Panzer Grenadiers, oh dear, losing a Panzer Grenadier team. Panthers almost ready to be called in. Panzer IV holding the line here at the gates to the American base. The 3rd Armoured Division not really calling in much armor, I'm afraid. Apparently forgetting why he needs armor, or what it does. doing heavy damage to the riflemen and rangers. And looks like this rifleman will have to run a gauntlet of Jagdpanther and Panzer IV. Still no Panthers arriving on the field. Hellcat moving in. Oh dear, the Panzer IV will be lost. There we go. Shot right through the front by a high velocity gunner. Now the Jagdpanther moves in. And there we go, doing quite a bit of nasty damage to the Hellcat with this high velocity millimeter gun, and of course crashing its way through the natural barriers of this base. The weight of the Jagdpanther basically meaning ignoring it. What it's doing is turning around his rear to the Hellcat. My goodness, does he actually want it to be knocked out? Riflemen and Rangers attacking. And sticky bombs being launched. Panthers moving in through the south. Knocking out the Hellcat. Could do with a bit of support, that Jagdpanther. Or at least getting it the bloody hell out of there. There we go. Riflemen hoping to catch it down, but no. The big kitty gets out of there. Crashing its way through more barriers and bocage. Observation post getting knocked down by all of this Panther might. And the heavy machine gun team in their wooden house. Oh dear, that does not look very structurally safe against tanks. Heads is now being prepared as well. Although that might be a bit too late. Rangers at the front, leading the way. Bazooka rockets not really doing much to the front of the Jagdpanther. Heavy machine gun in here, not looking too good. Rear armor of the Panthers are exposed to bazookas though. And looks like 2 gunners are down for the heavy machine gun team. The wooden house is not looking too good. Rangers taking heavy losses, getting squished beneath the treads of the Panther and Jagdpanther combo. Panzer Grenadiers engaging the M3 half-track here. Marder and Nissan's half-track, the only thing against these riflemen. And Rangers down to 1 man. The building collapsed with the last heavy machine gunner in it.
The enemy has
Riflemen retreating. Nissan's half-track is gone. Panzer Grenadier is getting pinned down by the anti-aircraft half-track with its quad 50 caliber mount. Panthers and Jagdpanther still hanging about outside the American base. Riflemen moving in right into the arc of fire of the Panther force, taking heavy losses in the process. Forced to retreat. Marder 3 moving in after this half-track. Another Marder also moving in. This is probably not going to end well. There we go. 1 shot and the Marder 3 is toast. Sending the crew on a last journey through the air into the road. Panthers and Jagdpanther now doing damage to the tank depot, which never really managed to send out any tanks. Rangers though arriving. Blasting away at the tank depot. And the Panthers reporting that the Yankee is kaput.
The enemy has moved against one of
Rangers charging in towards the center with nothing to hold it. Not a bad idea. And some other Rangers picking up a BAR. Panzer Grenadiers really need to counterattack there. Panther forces are not really in a state to actually move in, since pretty much all engines are damaged except 1. Was only Marders. My goodness, move, Vexial, move. You lazy bugger. Now going for all 3 victory points. Anti-tank gun ready for the attack, but no. And this heavy machine gun has still not moved from this spot, my goodness. Rangers though getting gunned down out in the open. Panthers moving in to support. Jagdpanther as well.
The Americans are capturing a sector.
And the Rangers are moving towards the northern victory point. Snipers sniping away, doing damage, killing, and all that.
Our forward supply lines are broken.
The Panzer Grenadiers are moving in. Veterancy 1, offensive veterancy, and the snipers forced to run once more. Run for his life, run to the hills. Central victory point being secured. All points are currently neutral. No, there we go. 1 in the hands of the Americans. 2 will be in the hands of the Panzer Elite, aka 2nd Panzer Division. Panther moving towards the center, though in dire need of repairs. Looks like the Panzer Grenadiers will be ready to provide it. Let us speed things up a bit. Not much happening. There we go, though. Moving right into the arc of fire of all of this, getting beaten into the ground. Sticky bombs going off on the Yak Panther, but the engine is already damaged. Riflemen getting blown to bits by the vicious Yak Panther. Anti-tank gun moving in. And Panzer Grenadiers who are trying to repair the Yak Panther are actually getting targeted instead of the Yak Panther itself. Snipers now joining in. This Panzer Grenadier really needs to get out of there. There we go. All of the Panzer Grenadiers retreating. Yak Panther also retreating. Rangers in the south getting engaged by Panzer Grenadiers. Rangers in the north moving out. While these chaps are getting gunned down. Only 10 victory points left. Rangers taking heavy fire from the Yak Panther out in the open. And from the Panthers. And apparently now getting an armored car. Southern victory point once more falling into the hands of the Wehrmacht. Heavy machine guns setting up here. And by Wehrmacht in this case I meant to the actual force, not the army faction. And Panzer Grenadiers getting suppressed, but with an incendiary grenade they clear out this obstinate point. Apparently my frame rate is being cleared out. But not for much longer. Game is almost over. Let's in fact speed this up a bit. That's not probably going to happen. And there we go. Game over. The 2nd Panzer Division won the fight against the 3rd Armored Division, which never really managed to bring any armor onto the field. Most unfortunate, but there you go. And that was probably rather his problem, number 1. He never bothered to get a Sherman, despite the fact that it would have helped him. And again, some players do seem to have the belief that tank hunters, because they have the name tank in it, can actually deal with other roles which would normally fall within the, well, role of the tank. They can't. They're tank destroyers, tank hunters. They're specifically sort of dealing with tanks. You want tanks to actually deal with infantry and whatnot, and that was not really what he got, which was rather his main problem ultimately. Vexial, though, didn't do too well either. He sort of climbed up his Panzer Grenadiers, lost them in some unfortunate ways. Good mining, though, good mining on both sides. Not so good with Vexial actually detecting the mines that were used against him. He seemed a bit lax at times, but then again the American commander though was really lax himself, not really attacking well enough, I felt. And that BAR right there could certainly have been picked up a lot sooner. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this fight. If you did, want to subscribe or tell your friends, and if you didn't, well, why not send a replay of your own. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.